I'm gonna drop a couple bombs on the FD channel right now.
Who you rolling?
I am rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
We are rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Oh, you know we rolling with FD, baby.
We got alphas and bros in the house.
That's right.
Peace out, my brother.
Woo! I'm rolling with the F, the D.
Learn something new every day when you're rolling with FD.
Yeah, we are rolling with FD, baby.
I roll with one person, and that's FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
You gotta love it, man.
This is a family thing.
That's good. That's good, man.
Hey, Renee, who you rolling with?
Rolling with FD.
Rolling with FD.
You don't have to ask. I'm rolling with FD.
My man. But see, Bless, who you rolling with?
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
That's how you just rolling, right? That's the whole thing, right? You roll with it.
You gotta let me know who you rolling with.
We're rolling with FD. You heard it first.
I'm rolling with FD.
I am rolling with FD.
I'm not just a pretty face, JD. JD, we should both do it.
No, I'm doing that.
What questions do you have for me? Right, Manny and Jeremy, who you rolling with?
We're rolling with FD. We don't want to get our asses kicked.
You gotta let the people know who you rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's been a minute. Been a while. What's the play? Is back here. August 7th, Monday at 6 p.m. How's everybody doing out there? And we're rolling. Demetrius. What's going on, man? What's happening? Got my fresh brim from Chicago at the National. Let me make sure this thing, got to make sure the light hits it right, you know? It's that brim. How's everybody doing out there? It's good for me to be here. I am excited. We have a great guest today. Sam will be on here soon. Well, how's everybody doing? Did people enjoy the National? Pancake Analytics, what's going on? It's good to have you here. Oh, we got Sam here. So without further ado, we have the sports card collector. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
What's going on?
I can't complain. I can't call it, man. I'm blessed.
All right. It's good to have you here. We got Zerny saying he's rolling. So what's new and exciting, Sam? What's happening? This is the first conversation I've had since the National, and I wanted to leave this conversation open to all different type, any subject. We can jump in. Anything we like. I'm also going to start a segment with you today that I do. I throw out some words, and you tell me what you're thinking. Throw out some names, some people, situations. You let me know what you're thinking. Well, what do you want to jump into first, man?
I just want to. I want to say thank you for having me back on. It's always a pleasure.
All the time,
connecting with you and building with you. I guess like I was watching your footage and stuff from the National. You had the whole fam out there. How was it?
It was great. It was great. So Sam, I'll tell you. So my father passed away in 2020.
Okay.
December 2020. Yes, thank you, sir. So we went to Chicago to clean out a home that I had as a child, my parents' house.
Uh-huh.
And so we were on that, man, we touched down on Friday. We were on that until Wednesday. We weren't even going to the National on Wednesday.
Wow.
We finished some stuff early, and we said, let's go submit some cards to get graded. And so we rolled through on that Wednesday, but we were originally going to go on Thursday. So we were like putting in steps. In Chicago, it was warm, like 90 degrees with a nice humidity factor involved. So it felt even hotter. And like G and I and other people in the family are just sweating it out, moving stuff out, getting stuff out of the basement, doing all kinds of stuff. And then we were like the back half of the week, we went to the National. So we were probably tired. And I try not to come across that way in the vlogs, but we had put in steps and were tired before we even got to the National. And then you get to the National, it's so large now.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, literally, if I saw you, what I tried to do, because I realized as soon as we walked in, like, man, this is much bigger than anything I've seen in Chicago for the National.
Wow.
So if I saw you, I got to talk to you right now. Because there were people that we saw and didn't talk to and never saw them again.
Wow.
That's how large. It was almost like being at Disneyland.
It's like going to education conventions.
Yes.
They have these little icebreaker things where you got to find a person that has the same number as you. So it's like, if you don't get that person in the beginning, you probably ain't going to find them at all the rest of the week.
Oh, yeah. We saw Kayla Collects. I saw a few people that, and I even saw some people when I'm talking to other people. Like I saw AG to OG over someone's shoulder, and she was so far away, never saw her again.
Wow.
She probably didn't even know I even saw her because she hit me with a note later like, I wish I would have caught up with you all. But it was just moving like that.
That's crazy.
Because, if you're in a large space like that and you're moving and I'm moving, you never connect. Like I saw a few people just pass him in the aisle. Like, vendors are set up. You just happen to, hey, what's up? Then we go over here and talk. If I let you go, it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. Yeah, I'm thinking, so next year I'm planning to make my first national ever.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, because I think it might be in Cleveland, not Chicago.
Cleveland.
Sure. But I'm wondering, like, I'm 6'6", so like, will I stand out in a crowd like that?
You stand out.
Everybody.
There were a few people, like I'm 6'3", but there were a few tall people walking around. Oh yeah, you're gonna stand out. But there were people, man, in 4 days that walked almost 30 miles.
Ooh, yeah, I was hearing people like they were charting their steps on their like watches and phones and Fitbits, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh yeah, I even asked G walking to the car one day, like, we weren't really tracking, but your body feels like how much you think we've walked today? And it was like, yeah, probably over 10 miles.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I hope it was a magical.
It was cool
experience, and you was able to get some cards, get some stuff graded, and got the grades that you want. And most importantly, just connect with the people you wanted to see.
Yeah. There were some people I had never met that we had a chance to meet. That was the cool part about it. We got Yabo.
I'm still waiting for our day. I'm still waiting for our day for us to be in the same room.
Oh, it's coming, man.
Yeah,
it's coming. There are some people that we met at this national that literally I have never met. I've maybe exchanged a message with him.
Yeah.
Or something that's happened, but I've never met him. So yeah, it'll happen.
Wow. Yeah.
We're representing two opposite ends of the country right now too. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, it'll happen.
Philly in the building.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to Cleveland. I've never been to Cleveland. I would like to be at that national. We'll see.
Yeah, it works itself out because I got some friends that I went to college with that I still stay in touch with. Every once in a while, we get on the phone or FaceTime and chop it up, or messages on Facebook. So, plus I got a lot of family out there, Youngstown, Cincinnati, and some family in Cleveland. So it might work itself out, but we'll see. I might make a whole trip out of it.
Yeah.
Do a little vacation, spend some time with family, and then hit up the card show.
It was good that Junior was able to be at that show, and G was able to walk around. It was good. It was good. I think I think when Junior walked in, because before he walked in, he was saying, "Oh, I'm good." Yeah. But then when he walked in, literally in about 5 minutes, he went to a game area and stayed at that game area. Like he really didn't go any further than that. And then he went outside and sat outside the field for a little bit. I think it was a lot. For a 7-year-old, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet it was like sensory overload.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I can only imagine.
The interesting part to me was hunting for cards. Like I go into this mode, I tell G that we're hunting right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm because the way it's set up, being 6'6", like yourself, or 6'3", it's probably an advantage because I'm looking over people's shoulders at the table to see what card I'm looking for. Then I just kind of keep moving if I don't see it. But if you're shorter, you got to work your way up to that table. At some point, there were 2 or 3 people deep between myself and the table itself. So,
wow,
how you gonna see those cards?
Yeah, no,
I heard some ideas about. You go to a comic convention.
Yeah,
the comic books are sitting up.
Yeah,
could they create some kind of either apparatus or some kind of picture that could sit cards up? I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but.
I've seen FD. I've seen stuff like that at some like smaller shows that I go to around the area. Some collectors, they have like these stand-up shows where they showcase their cards.
There you go.
That would help. When they have a bunch of people at their table, it gives people different vantage points.
Oh yeah.
To look at, what they're showcasing. So
that
it's possible. You just gotta get creative. But I tend, when I'm at shows and I'm walking around the room, I tend to take that vantage point of like, I see a bunch of people at the table. I could just look over and be like, all right, I see things I want. But the one thing that I saw in a bunch of people content that I follow, there was a lot of like 90s cards.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
At the show, like the junk swag era is coming back, and forget about the modern cards.
Mm-hmm. Yabo cracks me up here. Yabo says, I resemble that remark. I'm 5'2" and understand that straight up. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get to that table and see certain things.
Yeah.
I didn't know Yabo was 5'2" though, but now 5'2". All right. You said see you in Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. He said the National is massive. I'm still trying to find Dan and Merle. I'm telling you, we went looking for Dan and Merle, and they don't even know this.
Wow.
We went looking for Dan and Merle 2 times and never found them.
Wow.
Someone told us, oh yeah, they're right over there, and I don't know where that was, but and it was cool in certain parts of the National. You had markers hanging from the ceiling, so you can say, I'm by 118, I'm by 122, and someone can find you. Unless I missed it, there were other parts that didn't have that.
Yeah. You gotta be like, yo, send me your location.
It was more difficult to find someone unless they were sitting right by a corporate booth.
Wow.
Set up, it was more difficult to find them.
Tell me about were there any sessions going on? Like any panels?
I do know Pancake Analytics, who was here, was involved in several sessions talking about the hobby. Their world that was going on.
Yeah.
I missed that in its entirety.
Okay.
I missed that all together. But there were sessions going on with different topics. I do know his because we communicated about it, but I don't know everything that was being talked about.
Yeah. Also heard it was a pretty diverse crowd this year too.
Something that I noted, very diverse.
Okay.
From different ages to different ethnicities. There were many different people from all over. There were people speaking different languages. There was a melting pot of the hobby.
So in terms of the consumers, there was a diverse crowd in terms of the consumers.
Yeah.
What about like industry people?
There were a lot of corporate booths.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't find that as a knock to the show. Some people did.
Okay.
I heard some feedback that the corporate area was too large.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that I navigate in the setting I'm in. So when I realized that if I'm there for something, I stuck around. If not, I moved out of there.
Okay. What was the card you was looking for the most, FD?
Oh, I love Wiseman, man. So I was looking.
I gotta send you that Wiseman card. You gotta remind me. You gotta keep reminding me that rookie one. I got it for you.
I remind you. I was looking for some Wiseman stuff, and then I was pricing Curry.
Okay.
And I felt like I didn't see the entire show because I saw a pretty good amount of it. I didn't see a lot of Curry for sale. Especially not rookie second year Curry stuff. I felt like I saw a lot less of that.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'd like to hear if someone else was there, what their viewpoint was.
What did the vintage landscape look like?
Oh, you could.
Because you know me, I'm a vintage guy.
Yeah, it was very, very vast. There were cars of Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Herman Killebrew. Wow. There was a lot of stuff out, Sam. We noticed a lot of vintage, graded, not graded. A lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think 2024, 2024, I'm doing Culture Collision, and then I'm going to prepare for the National. So I'm looking forward to both of those experiences.
But you've been to Culture Collision before, right?
No, I haven't. I have not.
I thought you had been there.
No, I have not. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. I personally, I just want to go to Culture Collision just to play in that 3-on-3 tournament because there's a lot of collectors.
Well, something tells me you're going to shut that down.
There's a lot of collectors who talk about they got game and this, that, and other. So I just want to show them that there's some levels to this.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I can't wait to see those highlights.
Yeah. And I don't even care who on my
Sam, are you going to dunk on somebody, Sam?
I can still dunk at 39.
Oh, I know you can. Are you going to yoke on somebody?
We'll see. It's got so like I care. I'm a safe basketball player now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to like dunk on nobody because no one wants to end up on social media, and then plus I don't want to get hurt because I know there's people who know how to foul and there's people who don't know how to foul.
That's right.
And I don't want to be coming back home on a plane with a brace on my leg or something. So,
I was talking to a guy at work today who tweaked his calf playing basketball over the weekend.
In a 3-on-3 game, it's got to be the right moment for me to throw it down because we're talking half court, so it's got to be the right moment. It's got to be the right moment.
All right. Yabo says both of you in Atlanta would be dope.
No, we gotta do that. Gotta make it happen.
Yeah. A Collector's Dream says there was some panel discussion going on near Breakers area. Okay. Yeah, okay. There were. We did walk by that 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you though the
like topics.
I know Pac-Man was up there talking about breaking and different cards. I think there was some TCG talk at one point we went by.
Okay.
It's interesting, man, because when you walk in different areas to me of that show, there's different energy. Like when you walk in that Breakers area, you know, you got people, it's a totally different vibe because just the essence of them talking into a phone or computer screen and breaking cards. And then you gotta try to understand as you're walking by, what are they breaking?
Yeah.
It was different. I had some good conversations with some people in that area who weren't breaking, who were like on lunch at one point.
Yeah. What was trade night like?
Thursday trade night to me was magnificent. I mean, I tried to count at one point how many tables was in that space. Man, that had to be 70, 60 tables in that space. It felt like. But there were people everywhere. I mean, we're talking about a huge banquet area.
Wow.
With thousands of people in that space.
That's crazy.
But it was well organized. They were giving out free T-shirts.
Okay.
Advertising trade night in the back. There were great cards everywhere, from opening price point stuff to stuff that was very expensive.
Did you go to every trade night or just?
No, I went to the Thursday trade night. I think that was the only trade night we went to. We aspired to go to more.
Okay.
And then just because of probably sheer fatigue, it was like, let's get back up to
Yeah, you got to take a break.
I think if we didn't start our week probably working on something else, we probably would have went to more. But like 2 years ago, we went to Chicago. We went to, I think, 3 or 4 different trade nights.
Okay.
And we're rolling probably from 9 in the morning to about midnight or 1 o'clock. But that's because we were there focused only on that. There was nothing else.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Collector's Dream said there was a ton of vintage at the National. Brendan says, still holding on to my Skylar Mays, all those.
Okay.
Yabo said we could use some diversity as vendors, though, in my opinion.
Mm.
I don't disagree with that from what I saw walking around. Don't disagree with that.
Okay.
But I would say it earlier before I got on.
Yeah, I heard mixed messages from a lot of people. Like some people like, yeah, there was diversity there, and then some people's like it felt all the same in terms of like the industry side, you know. So
I would say I think I would agree with Yabo as far as those walking around. I felt like I saw a diverse group of people. I would say those vending and selling,
yeah,
probably not.
Okay.
Imani is here. What's up, Imani? Good to have you here.
What's up, Imani? I saw him in a couple of reels and clicks.
Yeah, Imani gets around. He was on the move.
He is like a hobby traveler.
Oh, he does. So Imani is all over the place when it comes to the hobby, going to different shows. I had talked to him and Yabo about trying to get down to where they are in October to do some stuff.
Now, did you meet Derek Jeter?
No, I wasn't at Arena. I didn't see.
Was that like a special thing or like?
Well, he's an investor for Arena.
Okay.
So I think he was there to help promote the brand and meet people. I know he went out to dinner with a few folks.
Okay.
And he was at the booth taking pictures with people. So
I get the concept about like all those different things that I don't know. I can't wrap my head around the thing of like giving someone my card to like store it for me.
Like, you mean like vaulting?
Yeah, I want to hold my own
I
card.
can't say, Sam, I can't say that. I don't get vaulting either. That's just me personally.
I want to hold on to my own cards, but like I understand it. Like,
and I think about logistically. Let's say I want to make a move.
Yeah.
And I want to do something with. I want to get rid of a card. I'm not a person that likes to wait.
Yeah.
So we have Burbank here in LA. You might want to go sell something.
Yeah.
Am I going to wait for that card to get to me? And I think that's why I've never vaulted a card, because just the logistics. And I'm not saying they're slow, but they're not as fast as if I know what a card is right now.
Yeah. I get the long-term understanding of it. But in the here and now, like, cards for me are therapeutic. So in that moment, like, I want to go down and go in my lab and look at that one card that, I ain't got it, because I sent it to be bolted. But I understand it. Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess if you think about it on the other side, you want to keep it in a safe place.
I ain't knocking it. For me,
yeah,
I just like my stuff with me.
Yeah, NFL Clips says hi. Good to have you here.
What's up, NFL Clips?
What's going on? There's another question here. Oh, Brendan asks, are the Platinum Portraits metal and undervalued set?
Platinum Portraits.
I don't know if I know a lot about Platinum Portraits metal. Let me see if I look at the card.
I got it. You got to pull it up.
Yeah, let me try to pull something up here.
Because when I think of metal cards in general, I just think they're very popular. Now I do understand that there's different levels.
This is these cards. I would say they're somewhat undervalued. You see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's somewhat.
I know there was a Jordan pulled, right? Wasn't
yeah, it's very condition sensitive. You gotta have the right players too. From what I understand, just like anything we do in cards.
Yeah.
But
that reminds me of the 96, 97 Flair Metal baseball set where they got those mother lode inserts in there, which are they're like rare inserts. Yeah. I think they're like 1 in like 36 packs or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Like this is the well sought after Jordan.
Okay.
But that's like a $15,000 card.
Yeah. I just think in general, metal cards are just, not only are they nostalgic, but I think that they're never going to lose their taste.
I agree.
And they trend in cycles. You know what I mean? Like, just think about like during the pandemic when people started to go beyond like the more modern cars and they started to get into like those 90 cars. The first thing that came out, first thing people were talking about was metal cars, the Fleer metal cars. You know, so you know, it's a shame that they just sitting at upper deck right now, not doing nothing. But you know, they're never gonna let that go. They're never gonna let that license.
Well, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see what Upper Deck does going forward.
Yeah.
I think about this often. What is Upper Deck gonna do?
I mean, I just think about some of the most iconic sets of cards and like designs of cards. A large percentage of it is sitting with Upper Deck right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know they own that licensing and the rights to Skybox and Flair and all that. And it's just like, man, like I would love to see like that Flair Premier 86, 87 look on a modern card. You know, be interesting. Or like metal cards coming out. But we'll see.
It'd be interesting if we see some throwback looks like that.
Yeah.
How popular they would be.
I'm excited for the future because the idea of like possibly getting a Topps Finest card again, or a Topps Chrome, or like just think about like those different inserts, Defenders, you know, Showstoppers, like all those different ones.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
Big John said the different trade nights look like the best part. Trade nights were nice. I saw some video of others that I wasn't able to attend. I think anytime you have a trade night, it's I always love them because you don't know what you can find. Yeah. Sometimes I love the overall hunt for something, to stumble upon something.
You know, I was wondering about like the whole national experience, and in my mind, I was thinking like, and I think I heard Wiz talk about this. I'm not sure. I think it was him. But why don't like trade night come to the show and like have it like in the center of the whole like card show experience, where, because I also think it opens the door for like that untapped potential of like conversations and networking and connections, and it also gives you a break from that constant walking of like, and then you also get the chance to see people that you want to see, you know what I mean? Or like, yo, let's go hang out in the trade pit for a second. But you know, I understand that there might be some pros and cons to that.
Well, I think it comes. I think, but that's a great suggestion. Probably something we may see in the future.
Yeah.
But I think it all comes down to right now, probably some dollars, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a vendor and you're setting up and you're spending X amount to set up,
yeah,
you may not want FD and Sam setting up at trade night for nearly nothing, selling cars. And you know, because there's some people I've talked to in the Midwest where trading cars at a show, they'll put you at the show.
Wow.
Now that doesn't happen here in LA. It's I think trade night is seen as something that's probably new in the hobby. Like I didn't know anything about that when I was coming into the hobby and growing in the hobby, and people are more embracing that than maybe other parts of the country. But
I mean, I think it would be hard to manage to say like, you know, if you're in a trade pit during show hours, you can't be exchanging money, but that'd be hard to like manage, where it's just like, you know, this is a space for like genuine trades and conversations, but you don't want to police that because you don't want to come across as like policing a card show that way. But like, I get it from the vendor side. Me, you know, I don't sell cards. I'd rather give them away and enjoy some like engaging conversation and fun conversation and connect with people, because I think that's where, for me, that's where the true wealth is.
Yeah.
Establishing that rapport and that connection, and knowing that possibly, like with you and I, like I have somebody on the West Coast that I know, So whenever I'm out there, I got somebody in my extended family that I can connect with or, you know, hang out with and chat with, and we have this common bond through cards. But I don't know, maybe that's the optimist in me.
Well, no, I've run into many people that feel the same way. That's a part of the hobby. You know, that's a part. We got the 180, just like the rest of the world, 180 degree spectrum. There are parts of the hobby that's what you're talking about. There are parts of the hobby that don't know anything but a dollar bill.
Yeah, I mean, and also too, I think that beefs up the quote unquote consumer experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you give them avenues to, you know, have their own experience or create their own experience. But also too, we got to see the hobby more as like a two-way transaction, and it just can't be like this one-way transaction where like,
yes,
because I'm here and I'm selling cards, that I'm the only one that's supposed to be making money. That the hobby can't survive that way. I mean, we learned that in the 90s when it imploded, you know. So,
and I've talked to several people recently who said just what you just said.
Yeah.
And we also can't have a hobby where cars are just moving around. I sell a card to Sam sells a card to Yabo sells a card to Brenda. Same card moves to Imani, just a card just moving around. Just can't be like that forever.
No. So, I often, and I think I said this to you before, like, if I wasn't an educator, like, I would work in the car industry, because
you told me this. Yeah.
I just think that there's a lot of ways we can be very innovative with cards moving forward, especially like with Fanatics taking over the helm, and they got an opportunity to do it right, and also to truly introduce like cards to a group of people that when you look at them, you know, they're on people who look like them are on 97% of the cards that's produced in this country. And I think not tapping into that market to ensure that kids are exposed to cards, both from like this organic sense of like creating communities within their community, but also experiencing cards at like this macro level of like card shows, local hobby stores, publications, et cetera, which was absent from my experience. And I'm actually writing about that in my like upcoming article for Hobby News Daily, that, you know, if done right, Fanatics could take this to the next level. But, you know, I just think they need a lot of like forward thinking, and especially people who have different life experiences when it comes to collecting, but also understand the industry side of it too.
Well, usually I ask the simple but tough question of how does the hobby, this is 2023, in the next 30 years, produce another FD and Sam?
Yeah. It's a fact.
How does that happen? I've asked this to several people, and you get a look like, I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. You know, we'll see. Again, I'm optimistic, and I'm extremely hopeful. But we'll see, because they can do it right, or we can have another, you know, what happened, you know, 28 years ago, you know, when a kid like me walked away from cards, you know. So we'll see.
Yabo made a great comment here. There was a trade night at the show, and I had to remember that. It was outside the front entrance. I forgot what night it was. It probably was a couple of nights.
Yeah.
Okay. But like you said, there were cars everywhere. There were people on the floor trading, talking.
Yeah.
And this is something I walked away with, and this is something I think about sometimes. I've been in the shows where I went through a metal detector to get into the show.
Yeah.
You walk into that situation, you're like, man, I feel pretty good up in here.
Yeah.
All right. We went into the National, I didn't walk in anything. I walked into the show. I paid for a ticket and turned a couple corners and went down the escalator, and here I am.
Yeah.
That may be something that this huge safety risk may be something that people think about in the future. I know to make lines longer because you got to wait to get in, but I can't go to an amusement park and just walk in.
No, I know I didn't hear of any, like, because like I think was it 20.
It was the last time I was in Chicago. I heard a few things.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about like thefts or people stealing or anything. So
I didn't hear anything about that either. I don't know if something actually went down, but
yeah,
I think as the hobby grows and we talk about, this is just me personally, we talk about bringing more people in.
Yeah.
I think safety should be very important because
I agree.
You got a lot of valuable things sitting somewhere in a central location that may be easily to assess and understand many different aspects of, how do I enter? How do I leave? There's just some things that probably should be thought about. Maybe it was something on the table. Maybe it's something they have thought about. I understood that international there was plainclothes police officers walking around. I do know that. And it was the same way 2 years ago when we were there. I'm pretty sure it was the same way in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
So I don't think they took it lightly. I don't think safety was off the board. It was just sometimes, just like when we go to, I always ask this question, Sam. Some people's like, FD, you're weird, man. I go to the airport, right? I see birds flying around inside the terminal, right?
Yeah.
How did that bird get in the terminal, man?
No, yeah, good point.
I think about things like,
no, you got a good point.
What's going on right now?
I've seen birds in the terminal before.
Oh, that bird can get in.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
If that bird can get in. There have been stories about people who have walked off the terminal onto the tarmac, and they don't work for an airline.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen.
Yeah.
It'd just be, I think we'll get to a point where you'll probably see some of this stuff. You'll see a structure that you got to walk through that lets people know that, it's safe on the other side of that thing.
If you had to sum your national experience up in one word, what would it be?
Whenever I go to the national, I think I don't know about one word, but
or like a short phrase.
I would say you get out of it what you put into it.
Okay.
If you're there to, and I don't like to use the word hustle. If you're there to put the work in, talk to people, and move around and ask questions, you'll find something that you would never thought you would have found.
Okay.
It could be in a bin or on the table or whatever. Or somebody can say, we've gotten to the point now where people will hit us up about some cards. Or Imani, I'm just gonna give a shout out. Imani knows that I like to collect certain players.
Yeah.
And Imani brought a card to the show that he knows that I would be on the floor about.
Yeah.
And then the hobby is like that. If you're genuine to me and you share what you really like and why, there'll be people that look out for you. There've been some people here in LA that have hit me up to say a card is available, man, that I would know nothing about unless they told me.
No, I agree. That happened when I was on my Flair Premier chase when the Nationals was in Atlantic City. And somebody hit me up and was like, yo, I saw this Flair card. Do you want me to get it for you? And I was like, sure. Or like, so yeah, that's the great thing that I love about the hobby. Like we all look out for each other to ensure that everyone can experience that's nostalgia and just pay it forward. That's why I always give away cards. Whenever I put out like content, I'm just finding ways to give back.
Yeah, but that's what I always think about the national. When I get there, my mind is on moving around, talking to people, trying to get to know more people than I knew before. Like one individual they know that I love. Let me pull this picture up. They know that I'm a big Steph Curry fan. And so we're walking and they bring this card to me. It's the Topps Black out of 50 Steph Curry rookie card.
Ooh.
I mean, this thing is phenomenal.
Did you get it?
No. It was just about them showing it to me.
Okay.
And walking me through the story about how they got it. Let me find this right quick. This is where's the Chicago stuff at? As we keep talking, this is like impressive to me.
Well, I got some stuff recently that makes me happy.
Oh, well, you and I talked about that card.
Yeah.
That's a great card, man. Look at you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I
know how you feel about Will Chamberlain.
Yeah. Then I got this one too.
Great card. Great card.
Yeah. I watched the Goliath documentary that they did of him, the 3-series documentary or Showtime. It was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal series. Learned so much about his life that didn't even know.
Goliath.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. It was a real good one.
See, this is the Curry card.
Oh, that's nice.
I've never seen that before. And I think this was 29 out of 50.
That's nice.
I didn't even know that was a variation that existed.
Wow. That's real nice. That's nice. Yeah, this was probably like this year collecting, man. It's going to be hard for me at the end of the year to put together like the top 10 cards of like 2023.
Well, you just pulled up 3 or 4 there that are.
Right. And then, not to mention, like, I also got this.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be.
You.
It's going to be real hard. It's going to be real hard.
Sam been doing some buying over there. Oh, look at you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be real hard, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I got something. I don't know if you ever seen this before.
No, have not seen that. Darren's card. Interesting. Where'd you find it at?
It's at a local hobby store in my area. There's only like, I think on SGC, I think seven of those graded.
I'm with Yabo here. Those first 3 you showed have to be.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard. And I got something else in, but it's a card that I've been waiting for, so I finally got it. So
Are you gonna release a video on it?
Yeah, I'm putting together my stuff right now for it. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yabo says, I like the Central Trade area at the show. Certain days or hours could be dedicated to certain sport, comic, cars, music cars, and vinyl genre, etc. I agree with that. I know there was some talk by other content creators about having vintage in one area, modern day basketball in one area, so you could really shop.
Yeah.
And then I came over, I was talking to some people about it may not ever happen. What'd be nice is before you walked into the show, you knew everybody that's selling a Will Chamberlain card.
Yeah.
And you kind of know where their location is.
Yeah.
And you know if I'm over here and I see the card and we can't get together on price, maybe I'm going over there. Maybe in section 122 or something, or 115.
Somebody was talking about building an app. I don't know where I saw that.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Now, then I'm good.
Yeah.
You can hunt, but the hunt is different.
Oh, that creates a more friendly user experience, and you get to be more efficient with your time.
Oh,
yeah. I like the idea of that. I like the idea of that.
Because when I enter a amusement park, I know what my favorite ride is. I know where a certain concession stand is. I know what a certain restaurant is.
Yeah.
I'm not walking in there trying to figure out everything.
Yeah. No.
So we'll see. But that puts a lot of ownership on the vendor. Like you got to catalog everything and report it and put a price in early, and a lot of work, Sam.
I mean, you gotta do the work. You gotta do the work.
I mean, there's some benefits there, though.
You gotta do the work.
I would think that in the future we look back and be like, yeah, man, I really shows a setup like that back then. That's very different now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's time to insert like that forward thinking
and that technology in, because in some instances, shows have not changed since we were children, man.
Because time is a commodity, and people want to be productive with their time.
Like the last day we were there, I'm looking for Wiseman. And I tell G, we're gonna, as soon as you come on the escalator, we're gonna search this area because we haven't been here.
Yeah.
We've walked right by this to go to PSA and go to other stuff. So this morning, we're gonna search this, and within probably 30 minutes, they found 2 cars.
Okay.
And really, my buying day was over.
Yeah.
Just that quick.
Right.
But if I had just walked past that, then who knows? Now, there might have been more cars there that I didn't see. But if we had an app that told us, man, there's a black top Steph Curry sitting on table 135. Let's go over there and talk to him.
No, I like the idea.
Yeah, Brendan says amazing car with tough SGC 10 on that Jordan.
Yeah, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. I like it.
Machado Sports. What's the word, fellas? We got some legends in the building tonight. Yes, sir. Ski. FD and S.
What's up?
What's up, Machado? What's going on? What else, Sam? What else you want to jump into?
So for me, man, you know, I've been doing a lot of writing lately, man. And
let's talk about it. What are you writing about?
I'm so obviously writing about the hobby. And you know, it also becomes like therapeutic because I get to go back in time and explore some things that, you know, I forgot about as a kid that like, oh, I need to address that. But just the art of writing, like it's fun to write about cards, but the art of writing, man, it's liberating, but it's also tough. And like, now I understand why like professional sports, it's hard for a reason because everybody can't do it. You know what I mean? And the thought of like putting words together and going back and rereading it and moving a sentence down and switching this paragraph together so you can just tell this descriptive story about, you know, in this case, cards. So that way, you know, whoever's reading it could connect and find something that resonates with them. Man, it's been fun, man. It's been real fun. It's been real fun to explore that side of me. Because, you know, as kids, when we were collecting, we wasn't exploring cards that way. It was about bragging rights, you know what I mean? So to do it in this way, it's just been fun. It's been real fun. It's been real fun, and I'm thankful that I just get to do it, you know. So,
well, that's the cool thing about the hobby to me is that there are different, many different avenues and aspects of collecting, of representing yourself in the hobby, talking about or communicating with other people about the hobby. There's many different ways to do that, and there's probably something out there for each person.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
and then also too. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that's the beauty.
Yeah. And also too, I'm just having fun, like, you know, making content, and trying to push the limits of creativity in terms of the different things that I do with my content, and like being my authentic self and still showcasing that like vulnerable side, but in a fun and engaging way, and then also just being able to put the cards like front and center and why I'm showing this card this week or what this chase has been about, you know, and just the experiences of like how this card came to be or like the moment before I got this card. I think it's been fun. It's been real fun.
Well, the creativity part of content creating is that's what makes it so much fun to me. And it's almost like probably have a chance to be different people at different times.
Yeah.
That sometimes I talk about sports, I'm very serious in what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Other times I'm talking about sports, I find the comedy and something that just went down.
Yeah.
It could be whatever.
Yeah. No, you definitely have gotten real diverse on your lens, and I like that. Me, like I tend to stay in my lane because I just love cards, even though I love talking sports. But I also as much as I'm a creator of like card content, I'm also a consumer of it.
Yeah,
and I truly appreciate the way in this community we have so many people exploring cards in their own unique way, and also that combination of bringing sports into it. I think it's fun, and I think it also allows people to tap into, certain passions or certain paths that they may have wanted to explore in their life, but didn't do it, and it just gives them the opportunity to do it now in their most authentic way, and like be in control of it.
Very true.
Yeah. So I think it's fun. I think it's fun. Other than that, man, tomorrow I celebrate my eighth wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations, Sam!
Yeah, I'm thankful for my wife for putting up with me.
Congratulations, Sam's wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. What are y'all doing?
We're gonna go out to eat, spend some time together. Got some things planned. So
I know you do, Sam.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Being unapologetically you is the key. Keep doing your thing, Sam. Loving this convo and connection tonight. Definitely need more diversity in the hobby. Yeah, I think just being oneself to me is important. I think I found out over time that, there are some people that watch you that try to define who you are.
Yeah.
And I always find that interesting because everything I've ever done in life is going to evolve over time. It's going to tweak and change and develop. And I would hope people are not thinking that rolling with FD today, August 7th of 2023, would be the same way it would be August 7th, 2025. It's going to be something different involved.
I'm the first one to say, I'm a flawed human being, but and I think over time, if you are honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable, especially in the different facets of my life, being a father, a husband, an educator, a black man, and for me, it's like when I played basketball. Every time I walked off the court, I asked myself, did I get better? And same thing in life. Am I getting better each day in this pursuit, of who I want to become in the different areas of my life? And, there's days where I make leaps and bounds, and there's days where I have setbacks, and, like, all right, let's keep persistent, So, and I think cards allow me to do that in the most honest way. So, for me, it's engaging.
I think people that are real with themselves and others will say what you just said. There are some days that I take leaps and bounds, and there are some days I take steps back. There are some situations that I'm in, generally in life, and we talk about this here at home, well, I react to stuff completely differently in the moment than when I was in my 20s and my 30s.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely,
totally different. And I get so excited when I react differently than what I used to do.
I mean, I'm 39. I'll be 40 in October. I mean, shoot, 4 years ago, the way I used to react or the way I conducted myself or carried myself is totally different from, 39-year-old Sam, and for me, it's just keep progressing and moving forward.
Keep moving. And I try to make sure that no one controls my emotions but me.
Yeah.
Person can say probably anything to me at this point. And I think I know it all kicked off when Junior was born.
Yeah.
The day Junior was born, I even said to him, they wheeled him into the out of the room into the hallway and was prepping his mom in the room, and I was sitting out in the hallway with him, and I looked at his face and told him, bro, I think you right now have changed me.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's going to be very different going forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta ask yourself too. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this lately here. You gotta ask yourself sometimes. I think back earlier in life. If I felt disrespected, say, it angered me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone could disrespect me now. I keep him. I'm probably already gone. Keep him. Whatever.
That I always tell my students this. I said there's three things that you can't give control of.
Mm-hmm.
You can't to people. You can't give control of how you feel, what you say, and how you react.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, you can't relinquish those three things to anybody. And just as much as I say that to my students, I also apply that and learn that in life.
Yep.
And just being extremely honest in this moment. I have to do that at the highest level as a Black man.
Yes, sir.
Especially the moment I walk out of my door or the spaces that I work in as an educator, because the moment I do lose control, I'm going to be judged differently.
And I've realized in life too, there are people that come to you wanting you to lose control.
Yeah.
It's a part of the plan. It's a part of the plan. When I was younger, I didn't care what you wanted. I'm probably about to lose control.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to bring it to you first. But now I sit back and I look at stuff and I'm like, that's not even, it's simple to figure out now. Simple to see.
I had someone in my professional space, I had someone who we were on the same level yell at me. And in my heart, there was this person from North Philly that was
I know what you're talking about.
yo. But I knew in that moment, I said, no, I gotta put that person away.
That's right.
And I was like, no, I gotta model the behavior that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a valuable lesson that day, because that day when I left and was on my drive home, I was one, proud of myself, but two, it's yeah, I'm glad I did the right thing.
I do. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
There are several things that have come up.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I know that there are other people who have evolved and changed as well who can relate. It's important.
even in this
our children, but our children. I'm rolling. I got G with me. I got Junior with me. We've been several different places in the hobby, outside of the hobby. I can't be reacting to everything, and I want to tell these guys to have your emotions under control and not do this, not do that, and they're looking at me. Just it can't be that way. And this all goes back to my original statement I was going to make, was that a lot of people in life press pause at some point.
Yeah.
They get to 19, they get to 23, they get to 15, they get to 29, and they don't want to continue to evolve. So, whichever it is at that point is what it's going to be. And I've always tried to push myself, probably my family will speak to this, to try to get better at what am I trying to do overall as in totality as a person. How do I handle situations? I like to be on time with things. I like to be orderly. I like to have a process. That's how my mind works. But then how do I get stuff done with people who don't think like that?
Yeah.
How do I challenge myself? And when we're talking now, it's talking about the overall evolution. I don't want anybody out there to think it's just about controlling anger. It's about that, and how do I continue to evolve to meet people in the future that's going to be very important for me to connect with in some capacity and get some stuff done with. That may be the 180 for me. And in the past, maybe I didn't work with those people. Now I probably need to. How do I get that done?
No, and the one thing that I thought about also to my ride home was like, yes, I was proud of myself, but it also took a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it made me understand courage at a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes it's not always about like protecting my pride or
speak on that, sir.
Protecting my masculinity and
it's not about that. It's not about, because I used to feel like if you disrespect me, that's not gonna be the last time you disrespect me. But now so, you go learn that on your own. I'm not here to teach you.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's all in stride, man. It's all in stride. It's all in stride because
all good.
You know, in my heart of hearts, you know, I'm also thinking about that person in the back of my head, like. We go outside. You can't whoop my behind. You know what I mean? Like, but I was like, I can't take it there. So there's.
I always tell a story. This was probably this was a little before COVID, so this is probably 6 or 7 years ago. I think Junior was probably newly born. Yeah, he was a baby, and I went to a Dodgers game by myself. I think on some work tickets.
Yeah.
And I pull into the parking lot, and I'm trying to park, and there was a gentleman. Now, I have children now, so I knew what was up. There was a gentleman trying to get a baby out of the back seat of a car. So I'm just sitting there. I didn't honk my horn. I didn't rush him. I didn't do anything. I'm just like sitting there. And so he's kind of like looking at me, gets the baby out. He's walking around the car looking at me, and then I pull into the space. And I guess he goes over and tells the driver of the car something. Because when I get out the car, the driver of the car says, "Oh, we came to watch it." I remember this. We came to watch a Dodgers game. But I guess I'm gonna have to beat somebody's blah blah blah. Right? So I'm standing there. I get out the car. I'm standing there. I'm looking at him. And what was so cool, Sam? I didn't think twice about that, man. I looked at that guy. I let them go ahead and walk, towards the stadium. Then I followed them, man. I got into my seat and enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
But I can remember a time where I would be like, "So who you talking to, man? What are you talking about?" Never entered my mind.
Yeah. No, it's
the evolution, baby. It's the evolution of life.
Hey, you feel how you want to feel. That's all I say to people.
Hey, express yourself, man. Express yourself.
Yeah. Like, God bless you.
Right, man. Enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy that game.
God bless you.
Really getting deep in here. No, just being real. Different subject.
This is how you and me been talking.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Since day
talking
one.
about real parts of life that also I know, my pops told me a long time ago. There's nobody on the face of the earth that's invincible in any form.
Nope.
So just always be mindful of that. And the goal is to be an old man one day. So keep it moving. My testimony to everybody out there is that if your pride is hurt on any level and it causes you to react in a physical manner or even in a verbal manner, that's probably more growth needed. And I can admit that in my life at certain points, I was doing well in school, man. Played ball, did very well. I was getting jobs, moving around the country, doing a bunch of stuff, and still needed some maturation. And my father was a cool person with me who was always mentoring and telling me, and my mom too, about you got to mature. You got to, and these are people that would challenge me no matter what I'm doing. I could be the bomb at this, that, and the other. What's that fourth thing? Are you on that? What's that fifth thing? Are you on that?
Yeah. No,
So
that's fact. That's fact.
they're challenging. So they would tell me sometimes, and my parents, which I loved about them too, they weren't gonna co-sign something just because FD's doing it.
Yeah.
If you're not doing what they want you to do or what they taught you to do or what you, as we used to say all the time, what your home training spoke to, then somebody's gonna ask you a question about that.
No, that's facts. I'm shoot, my maturation is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
No start date, no end date. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree, man. That you couldn't articulate it no better. It's like during COVID when we were like in and out of schools and everything, and in the aftermath of it, and people would get so frustrated about like education during that time, and I will always say, this is the best time to be an educator. I mean, for the first time in 150 years, we get to reimagine this canvas, and we get to do it our way, in the right way. So let's take advantage of it as opposed to like complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just apply that same thinking to life, as it relates to like growth and learning and getting better. So that's all we can do. Man. That's all we can do.
Let me ask you a question about. So there was an announcement today. Shannon Sharp left Undisputed.
Yeah.
There was an announcement today about Richard Sherman coming onto the show. I guess they're going to try to do some things by committee, different people coming through. Richard Sherman's going to talk a lot about football. And then there was something stated about Lil Wayne coming through maybe once a week.
The same Richard Sherman that gave Skip Bayless a verbal asthma. Excuse my language.
It was almost like bringing in Jalen Rose to Skip Bayless. So, Richard Sherman will come through. And then they're going to bring on Lil Wayne maybe once a week, talk about this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Sam, do you see any of this working well?
No.
I don't either.
I just think, I don't know. It's hard for me to like Skip. I just think he's here's when I learned what type of, here's my moment where I figured Skip out.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen a clip with like him and Mark Cuban?
Yeah.
Like that's when I knew. I was like, this guy knows nothing about sports, and he just lives in his own mind and his own ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, Mark Cuban just gave him a verbal, you know what I mean?
Thrashing, like
yeah. Like, and I never watch his shows. It got to a point when even when he was on First Take, I just stopped watching it. And I never watched the shows on with him and Shannon Sharp. I just couldn't do it.
I wonder what happens when this doesn't work well. What does Skip go next? That's what I wonder. Because I don't see it working well.
He probably started his own podcast.
Well, he has a podcast now.
Oh, okay.
If you watch it, it's very dry.
No.
It's very Skip Bayless like. It's not. It's not fluid to me. It's very. He's talking about something. He's reading from a paper.
Yeah. And also too, like he. I think he also has to understand that like he's made his living off the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you look at all the shows he's been on and who his counterparts have been. It's, whether we like him or not, it's been somebody directly connected to the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I also see him as a guy who's, I always compare him to, it reminds me of Howard Cosell. So when Howard Cosell was on Monday Night Football back in the day, it was difficult for him to share screen time and exchange ideas with former football players.
Yeah.
Because he felt they were not on his same intellectual level.
Yeah.
And he was a journalist. That's how Howard Cosell started.
Yeah.
Writing about a game.
Yeah.
So he thought he was painting a canvas of what this thing looked like. Because most people at the time didn't have TVs or they weren't watching. It was on radio.
Yeah. Well, he definitely had a narrow lens because it's one thing to intellectually talk about a game. It's another thing to actually play the game and be in moments, high intense moments, where you're meeting with your coach, talking to your coach, talking to players, going over a play or looking at a playbook or the time is winding down. We need to run this, and to be able to articulate that in a way to have the audience who don't play sports understand that not only at a higher level, but also being able to speak to their language.
I say to people all the time, if you have spent significant time behind the door in the locker room, your viewpoint is different than even if you stand on the sideline and watch the game.
Yeah.
It's completely different. If you've been taped, if you have ran until you thought you might fall out, if you had to watch film and get better from watching film and if you had to receive feedback verbally about your performance while watching film in front of 30 people, if your coach asks you, FD, what the hell are you doing right here? And there are 35 people sitting there looking at you, and you better answer that question, and you better answer sincerely.
No, that's facts.
If you're missing a block, or you're running the wrong route, or if you're running in the opposite direction as a quarterback on a play where you shouldn't be as a running back, and you can't take that, and no one's coming over you and using proper language. Well, Sam, what were you thinking there? No one's saying that.
I mean, as a basketball player who played collegiate basketball, and we ran the flex offense, and when I got to college, I had to learn how to be a basketball player because I was raw, I was athletic, and I relied on my ability. But I had to learn how to play basketball. And my first year in college, it was a lot of like the mental aspect of basketball. And then once I got that down pat, the game was like easy.
Comfy.
I mean, the ball was like just falling in my lap, like So, I also too. Sometimes I think with Skip, there's that. I don't want to call him jealous, but there's also that other angle of like my credibility will always be at stake because I never played sports at a high level. The fact that I have to sit across from someone who's played sports at a high level, not only played sports at a high level, but was successful and was the best of the best. And
some could argue that Shannon Sharp is the best tight end to ever play football.
Yeah.
We're talking about blocking and catching passes.
Yeah. And then also in terms of like winning.
That's right.
I think that's hard for some people to deal with. And,
do you overcompensate with arrogance?
Oh yeah.
What do you do?
And I'm not trying to judge Skip Bayless, but I think sometimes he projects certain things. I'm trying to find a nice way to say this.
There may not be a nice way, Sam.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to say it. I just think he projects certain things that, certain people like him struggle with as it relates to, superiority or inferiority.
Well, we're going to see if Richard Sherman is the answer. I don't think so. We're going to see if Lil Wayne once a week. I don't think so.
I don't know what Lil Wayne can offer to that space, but
I think he brings in some silliness and some comedy because I'm not tuning in to see what is Lil Wayne talking about last week's game or last night's this or that last shot or that's not gonna get it for me.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, to me, that caters to a pop culture crowd. So you bringing him in for maybe mass appeal. Like my man the Guru said, maybe it's just mass appeal, bro.
I don't know. I still struggle with that. I didn't even know that was happening. So you can know like.
Well, he used to guest appearance with Shannon and Skip sometime. He did the intro song, and he used to guest.
Yeah, I do know that.
And it was like basically, hey Wayne, what do you think about something? And he would come with this one.
Now, here's one thing that I know we can talk about. What do you think about the Terrence Crawford and Spence fight?
I think one guy should never fight again.
Ooh.
Like, he was in a bad car accident, man.
Yeah.
He's not.
I heard a clip, a doctor talking about him saying
Yeah, he should never fight.
He was suffering. He's still suffering from the residual effects.
I'm no physician or doctor, right?
Yeah.
But I think AB, Antonio Brown, is suffering from the same thing. I mean, you talk about someone that's always glassy eyed.
Yeah.
I think it's when
AB. But here's my thing.
Go ahead.
Here's my thing, FD. After that accident, he fought against top fighters,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know.
Dude, just think about it. You took head trauma in that accident. Then you gonna go in the ring and take more head trauma?
Yeah. No, you got a point.
I love him as a fighter. I loved him before that.
I guess we could say Ugas didn't expose what, Terrence Crawford did. So I always said, the one thing that I said, even when those two started to when people started to talk about those two fighting with, I've always said that I felt as though that Terrence Crawford was the better fighter. And I felt as though he would beat Spence. Now, what I didn't know was that it would be that easy. Mm-hmm. And car crash or no car crash, man.
You saw a video of that car crash, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw a video.
I'm surprised that dude's out walking around.
Yeah. But I don't think when Terrence Crawford became undisputed at 140, I was talking in my boxing circle with my friends, and I said, I don't think this is the first thing I said, and this was when Canelo was at his peak, at his rise.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you put those two in a room, I'm putting my money on Terrence Crawford. If they both meet at 154
mm-hmm.
or even 160, I'm putting my money on Terrence Crawford. And people thought I was crazy. But I also said that I don't see nobody beating Terrence Crawford from 130 all the way to 160. I just don't see nobody beating him. I think if he go up to 168, it'll be, even though he's got the body for it, because I think he's at the right height. He's got the right arm length. But the one thing that's scary is every division he's been in, he's brought his power with him. And most fighters can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You either lose something, you either lose your power or you lose your speed. And he's brought his power with him to every division weight class he's fought in. And
the only question I got about him is he a marketable fighter?
For a boxing purist like me, for someone who always watched fights, to me, I think he is. If you love boxing, but in terms of mainstream, I'm
talking about the person that's walking by looking at the TV and oh wow.
I think if you learn his story, yeah. But you got to take the time to learn his story. He's the guy who got shot in his head,
mm-hmm.
and drove himself to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also the thing that's missing from this conversation. He got shot in his head. And I'm not comparing the two accidents, but he's a guy who got shot in his head.
I got it. Yeah.
And drove himself to the hospital and survived that. And is engaging in the sport where those same blows are coming back at, and man, it's
you know what I always say about boxing, right?
Yeah.
No matter who won, both people lost.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure. But he's a talent, man.
There's two sports you can't play. You can't play boxing, and as much as I think basketball is the best sport in the world, you can't play football.
No, I don't think so. I was happy to play and never have a surgery or any major injury.
So,
and most of the guys I played with had something.
Yeah.
He scoped.
Yeah.
concussions, like I mean, really bad stuff going on.
Yeah. So those are two sports you can't play. Those are two sports you have.
They're really not made for the human body.
No.
You got to think our brains is the probably the central organ, that and the heart of everything we do.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the line all the time in both sports. You put it on the line.
So, but I'm excited to see where boxing goes next. So
am I, because at one point the sport was almost dead.
Yeah.
So
we had some big fights this year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Zerny says Crawford is too strong. Machado says Spence was never the same since that crash. Prayers up for that, bro.
Yeah.
Hero 3 says, who is Sam Evans collecting? Does he have a player he's aiming for?
Oh, that's an easy conversation. That's easy.
Yeah, he just pulled up a card. Go ahead.
Wilt.
Yeah. You know Sam, it's all about it's Wilt Chamberlain.
It's Wilt, man. I mean, it's just
there's a few other people I know from Philly. It's Wilt.
It's Wilt. It's Wilt. Obviously, like also too filling that Jordan void, like from the 90s, trying to get all the cards that I had or all the cards that I wanted. I think there's one in particular that I want, that 93 Finest. I had a chance to snag it at the Brotherly Love show, but me and the guy couldn't meet on a price. I think he wanted a little bit too much for it. So I walked away from it. I was like, it'll come around again. And then also like vintage.
Like, what do you want? You want a Beam Team card, or what kind of finest card you want?
The 93 Finest.
Okay.
With the brick behind them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I picked this up recently.
Chuck Klein.
Yeah. Phillies Hall of Famer, 1933. Yeah. Good card.
Yeah, say Chuck. Sam's been buying, man.
Yeah. So I got some good stuff behind.
Yeah, you got some new additions here.
I got some good stuff behind it. Here's a card I think you might like.
Oh yeah, you got Harden, DeRozan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that card.
I see you didn't mention that. I see you didn't mention the third guy.
No. You know, in that year you had some hit or miss guys.
Yeah. But it's only like, I think that's a pop 2 on PSA. So fun card to have. Good conversation starter.
Yeah, hard card to grade too. Colors to the border.
Yeah.
Whenever you see colors to the border, mostly low pop. What about the Nate Diaz fight? What do y'all think?
Oh, I didn't waste my time with that.
I didn't watch
Trash. I wish he'd fight a real fighter. I was like, I'm not paying $60 for that.
So let's move into the segment. I've been waiting on this. I'm gonna start doing this little word association.
All right.
So I'm gonna say a person's name or a situation. You tell me the first thing comes to your mind.
All right.
Ja Morant.
We need to pray for him. I mean, he's got so much talent, and I don't think he realized it. There was a guy that when I was in Connecticut in prep school, we were on the same AAU team together, and he was I don't say that there's many people better than me, but he was the best basketball player in Connecticut. His name was Roosevelt Lee, and man, his potential was through the roof. And there were times where I would like watch him, like if I wasn't in the game or we wasn't in the game together, and the game was just so easy for him. So easy for him. Roosevelt Lee could have played anywhere he wanted in the country, and like all is well with him. Like, you know, he's a father, he's got a family, taking care of his family, doing this thing, giving back to his community. But he should be in the NBA. You know what I mean? So, and, you know, I think about when I was in prep school, there was a guy named Coach, who used to coach us in the summer, Larry Kelly. He played at Syracuse back in the day. Look him up. He was a prolific shooting guard. And I remember him telling me one day in practice, he was like, Sam, you can't be afraid to be good. And at the time, I didn't understand what he meant by it. But later on in life, I thought about that. And I even thought about my own college career, like how times where I was playing well, I would defer to the older guys on my team out of respect. And when I think about John Morant, I don't think he recognized what's at stake and what he's squandering away with his choices. And part of me feels like I think he's afraid to be good.
Zion Williamson.
I just hope we don't have another Sam Bowie.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talented too. I've never seen no one like. And he reminds me of Charles Barkley, but like on a level like 30. You know what I mean? And I just think he needs to do a better job of taking care of his body.
What's another good one? Jalen Hurts.
The future. I broke my football boycott because of him. I ain't watched football in years, but when him and Pat Mahomes played in the Super Bowl, I watched that game, and man, the level of and scary, but also like his level of resolve is just unmatched. You talk about a guy who was benched on national TV, cheered his teammate on who won the game, transferred, didn't have nothing bad to say about his team.
Mm-hmm.
Got drafted, got benched, didn't have nothing bad to say.
Coached by his father.
Yeah. It's remarkable. I might watch football again because of him.
What do you think of Shohei Ohtani?
He's a unicorn. And I wish people stopped the Babe Ruth comparisons.
There is no comparison.
Just weird. Like it's stuff like that bothers me because there's this undertone to it, and I don't think people in society realize it. But that's another conversation for another day. He's a unicorn.
What's another good name? Aaron Rodgers.
I think he's someone who's supposed to be the GOAT. But somehow some guy by the name of Tom Brady beat him to it.
I wonder what role his personality plays into how people view him as well. I think of another good one I've thought about recently. LeBron James.
A word or just my thought about him?
What's your thought?
I mean, removing all manipulation from my mind about the whole psychology that went behind Michael Jordan. LeBron James is, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time. Next to Wilt. I mean, all right, let me retract that.
No, I mean, say how you feel.
Hold on.
You can get no rebuttals from me.
LeBron James.
Go ahead.
LeBron James is the most talented player ever.
Okay.
I think it's hard to say anybody's the greatest player of all time, but I think he is a special player like a Wilt Chamberlain, like a Michael Jordan, like a Kobe Bryant, like a Magic Johnson, that if you put them in any era of basketball, they would be the best players in any era because of their physical gifts and their ability to do what they do with the basketball.
Wardell, Stephen Curry.
I think he is the kryptonite to LeBron James' GOAT status.
The man showed up and derailed something that was building.
Yeah.
We started talking about King James and how many he's going to win, and that was a kid that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, he is the kryptonite. He is the kryptonite to LeBron James.
Who's your greatest point guard of all time? Magic Johnson or Steph Curry?
I don't know why you didn't mention Isaiah Thomas.
Sam, if you know my background, I don't really talk about Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, okay.
We got
Chicago
some real blood with Isaiah Thomas. Oh, he's a Chicago guy, but Chicago doesn't claim him.
Oh, okay.
There's many reasons why.
I don't know. It's hard to compare them to because they're such different players. Magic Johnson was much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Their games are just different. Mm-hmm. I don't like to call Stephen Curry a point guard. In my eyes, he's a combo guard.
Okay.
Like even though he can run an offense, but like that's not his best attribute. Because he plays so well off the ball.
Mm-hmm. They're probably gonna try to get him off the ball even more this year.
Yeah. So I hate calling him a point guard. So it's hard for me to pick between them two.
Okay.
Hard for me to pick between them two.
Russell Westbrook.
Control chaos. Or at times uncontrolled chaos. He's like a video game in real life.
He is.
And it's I don't think he's gonna win a championship though.
I don't think he is either. He's gonna play. You know, he signed a 1-year deal.
He's gonna play a long time, but I just don't think he's gonna win a championship.
Not happening.
I hope. I don't want to wish that on any player.
Well, there's probably gonna be a few people joining him on that. You know, just like back in the Jordan era. It's gonna be
I think
players that won't win a championship.
Yeah, I think about like a tiny Nate Archibald, right? Prolific scorer, the point guard, right, of his era. But he went to a team called the Boston Celtics and dialed it down to win. You know what I mean? So my thing is like, also think about like a Wilt who sacrificed towards the end of his career to win that. Like that last championship he won, he not only won that championship, but he also was the finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he didn't score as much in that series, there were games where his team needed him to dominate on offense, and he had games where he scored like 45 points. My question is, can Russ learn how to play without the ball?
No, sir. Nope, I don't see that.
And can he commit to the same energy that he puts on offense, put that to defense?
Well, you know, Sam, he's never done it in his career.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I wonder about him.
If you got a Russ with his athletic ability, if he'd have put that energy towards defense, you know what kind of player he'd be?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have average triple doubles, but he would have rings on his fingers.
Yeah.
Rings.
Yeah.
So I got one last thing. I think Hero 3 tried to make a comparison between Michael Jordan and Russ.
With no coach to guide him.
Yeah, it almost knocked me out my chair right now. But I'm gonna let Hero 3 slide with that. Now you're gonna comment on it. You're gonna let it roll, baby. I respect your opinion. That's how we're gonna say that. One last person. Luka Doncic.
He's like the sexy Corvette. But I don't know if the insides of the car will last, give you the mileage you need to travel the world.
We think the same thing, sir.
Will his body hold up to take Dallas to the promised land?
That's right. Or whatever team he's on at that time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you re-signed Kyrie.
Yeah.
Hoping that Luka gets it right.
Yeah. So.
I believe Sam Luka he never wins championship. And then what does that mean though? What does that mean? What does that mean in the hobby?
Yeah.
And what does that mean in the world of sports?
Also think he got a lot of mileage on his body.
Yeah, he started playing pro at 13, 14 years old.
I mean, we see that with, God bless Ricky Rubio, and I hope, he gets all the support that he needs, but, you see the mileage and the toll that it takes.
You know what's amazing about sports? This is amazing.
Yeah.
The same person that says this comes with this. Luka will only go as far as his body. Hero 3, you saved yourself. I agree with that. He will only go as far as his diet. He's had some workout videos showing that he's getting after it, and it looks like he's controlling his diet where he's losing weight. I wish him all the best. I just don't know how his game translates into a championship unless you put the right players around him like LeBron James.
I say it like this. Kobe once said in the Drew League, repeat the list. And he told the guy, repeat the list. And the guy didn't know what the list was. And he said, me, Wilt, Mike. So there you have it.
It's funny he didn't put LeBron on that list.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh. I mean, Larry Bird once said that if we didn't have any film of the NBA and the world became like this forsaken planet and the aliens came down to Earth to investigate it, and they come upon a history of basketball. They said they would view Wilt Chamberlain as the greatest player ever because of his stats alone. And I would say to a certain extent that if that was the same scenario, because LeBron is like the all-time and all playoff points, rebounds, and everything, they would probably say the same thing without any video. I mean, the one thing that I learned from that Goliath documentary is that as consumers of sports, whether we played it or not, we have like a very selective memory when it comes to sports.
We do.
Case in point, when Dirk Nowitzki was hitting his turnaround fadeaway jump shot, everybody think with one leg in the air, everybody think he invented this prolific shot that no one can stop. And someone said, no, if you watch film of Wilt Chamberlain, he was doing that in the 60s, where he changed his game around because he got to the point where he stopped dunking on people because people would foul him a lot, and he struggled with his free throws. And he tried to work on his free throws to improve his percentage. But he realizes, all right, I can't use my power all the time. I'm going to use my finesse. And the next season, Wilt start shooting falling back, fade away jump shot with one leg in the air. I mean, it's on the film. You can watch the film. So I don't know. I just think that we have selective memory when it comes to certain things to fuel our own opinions, our own viewpoints about players and about teams and who was this and who was that. And that's the great thing. That's the great thing about film. It allows us to see the whole story.
True. And you can't really blame it on some people say, well, Wilt didn't have a lot of film. I know people that don't even know who Barry Sanders is.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of film. Machado says, quick question, FD and Sam. Who would have they switched out Luka for on the triple logo, man, 101? And if Luka wins a chip, how much is that card worth? Who's on that card? We got LeBron, Luka, and who's the third person? Machado, help me. Somebody help me out. I remember that.
That wasn't LaMelo, was it?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't think it was Steph. Was it Steph?
I forgot all about that card.
Yeah, I think it's. I want to say it's Steph on that card. Who could they have switched him out for? I think when you make cards like that, there's a marketing aspect to it. Luka's very popular player. If you want to talk about winning,
I mean, it's like cards like this.
Yeah, man, look at that card.
Yeah.
You got two young guys. And you got Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curry. I think Curry. So it's Curry, LeBron, Luka. At this point in basketball, I don't know who you would switch him out for.
No.
I think it's probably Luka. Shea is not, I don't think, marketable on that level.
Yeah.
Tough call.
No, it is a tough call.
Yeah, Curry, Bron, Luka.
Yeah.
I would say you keep Luka on. Maybe seeing that logo, man, makes him want to win a championship. I don't know. You can't put Kyrie on there. That's
no.
It's difficult.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of those cards anyway.
You don't like those triple logo, man?
Nah. I don't know. I think it's more about status than collecting.
Oh, I can see. Yeah. Right.
I mean, also too, like if we know the history of cards, those cards they're doing what Fleer did in the '60s and Topps did in the '70s when you put multiple stars on one card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just instead of home run leaders or scoring leaders and rebounding leaders, it's jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
From a game or something like that. So, we'll see.
Sam, you got any other words of wisdom before we get out of here?
No words of wisdom. As I always say, man, keep collecting and have fun. And then also in life, just strive to be the best version of yourself and, never be afraid to talk to someone because therapy is amazing.
Very true.
Yeah. So, but no, FD, I appreciate moments like this, man.
I appreciate you, sir.
Having fun and, connecting, building a bridge and yes, this conversation, even though we've been all over the place, has been fun, man.
Well, I like that. Derek, yes, you are one of those people that I like to, because I could easily talk to you about sports.
Yeah.
I like to talk to you about all different types of stuff. And I know I can talk to you about life. Like we have a conversation on life and being young men out here trying to navigate family life and professional life and what's going on with us personally. I can have all those conversations. So that's why I intentionally didn't send you any questions today.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
I like being able to talk about different stuff. So, and we got to have it in before the end of the year as well.
Oh yeah. We got to do it again. I might have an idea what my top 10 list might look like.
I know you got Wardell, Stephen Curry in there.
You know what, man? I know I got to get better with this, but even though I have a modern PC of players from 01 up until now, I do not buy a lot of modern cards, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could, I have some jewels, I have some good stuff, but when I go into card stores, it's more about memory lane, man. It's all about the memory lane. You know? But now, I did. You might appreciate this. So I did do this the other day.
Oh, yeah, okay. You like Evan Mobley? I've heard some things about him.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's going to be an exceptional player.
And then I did this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I picked up some modern.
Sam, what do you think of Tyrese Maxey? Because he's one of my favorite players.
Oh, I love Tyrese.
Okay. I think he's going to be phenomenal.
Even though he's not from Philly, he looks like he's from Philly.
Yeah, he's going to be phenomenal.
He embodies everything that Philly is.
I don't think Philly's going to miss James Harden when he gets.
No. I wasn't a fan of that trade, but, you know, you live in a moment and you support. And, you know, when he had those moments of scoring 45 points against the Celtics, I'm like, oh, we're going to the finals.
But, you know, James Harden is like Donovan Mitchell. If he has 45 one night, you know he's not going to do well the next night.
Yeah. So, but hopefully we can get something for him because we gave up a lot for him. You know, so we'll see.
Got one last question here. Machado says, Sam, what type of setup you have? What are some essentials for cleaning and taking pics of my cars? I'm trying to take pics, but my lighting isn't hitting the card how I like. LOL. Help the boy one time.
I got those big. I got the big.
Like ring?
Yeah, the big halo light. That gives me the lighting that I need, and you know, I tend to use like micro cloths, not necessarily like on my cards, but like just on the top loaders, and most of it is just the updated iPhone that I have. You know, so you know, it becomes easy. Yeah.
Yeah, we use those ring lights as well.
Yeah.
To get different things done.
And then also too, like I take pictures outside too.
I do that a lot too.
For my slab of the day.
Yep.
So I travel to like different courts, baseball fields and everything. But the one thing that I say about taking pictures is take the picture that makes you happy.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Don't try to take a picture to impress people, because take the picture that makes you happy. Take something that captures your lens and how you see that card, and I guarantee it's going to resonate with someone. And that's what I do when I do my stuff.
I totally agree. I totally would agree with that.
Yeah.
And like Machado, anything that you're doing, you can start with a reasonable price light. Doesn't have to be super expensive.
Yeah. No.
And just have fun with it.
Yeah, and I try to do it in the most authentic way, you know, like, so, yeah, just have fun with it. Have fun with it. And then it's also a journey. As you catalog your stuff, you see your growth. I mean, I from the very first picture I took of my cards in my garage to the pictures that I take now, it's fun to see that growth and to see how I challenge myself to do different things. So,
yep.
Yeah.
It'd be cool for you to meet Machado. I think y'all would have great conversations in person. Whenever I meet him in person, I always have very good conversations. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, send me a DM, Machado.
Yeah, Machado, hit him up. I think y'all like to, sometimes I like to try to connect people just from knowing them that I think would really connect in person if they met each other. And I think you two would.
Yeah.
Sam, it's always good having you here, sir.
No, I appreciate you, brother.
And it's been a pleasure to be back on because we haven't been back. We've been on the live in a while.
Yeah,
I miss doing live, so it's been great to have you back as the what is it? The almost the Q4 of 2023. Okay. Good to have you here, bro.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to come on.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed the good show, and until next time.
We'll schedule some dates, at least one date before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'll be back on. We'll let people know too that tomorrow I'll be back on with JD on What's the Flavor.
Yeah, I got to get on with your boy JD too, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We could do
I
like
telling JD.
Was that like a tripod?
Yeah, I would like to see him. I don't know what, I know he has a lot of time commitments to even have some people on it if I wasn't even on.
Yeah.
I think JD would be a good interviewer, a good person to talk to. I'm going to mention that to him again. See if I can.
Let's make it happen.
Make it happen. Well, brother, you have a good one. Please tell your family I said hello. I hope that from my family to yours, you have a great anniversary tomorrow.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Machado says he's gonna shoot you a follow tonight.
All right, perfect.
Yep, it'd be good to get y'all together, sharing some ideas. Everyone, we got Sam here, ATL January. Yabo, look at Yabo marketing over here. Look at Yabo. Yeah, man. At some point, I need to get to Culture Collision.
Yeah,
it's
gotta make it happen.
Gotta make it happen.
Gotta do it for the culture.
That's right. Machado says, "I love sports talk, man. This is my passion. This is what made me fall in love with the FD podcast." I appreciate that because when we wanted to start podcasts, originally this was to meet more people in the community and share ideas on what to play. And then what's the flavor was to talk about sports and the hobby. And I felt like there was a gap between what's going on in sports for real and what are people talking about with cards. So I don't know any other way for me to understand what's happening in the hobby. I got to watch sports. So JD and I said, we're going to start talking about that stuff. And he has a pretty decent sports mind. Very good.
Yeah. No, he's legit. He's legit.
We started talking about, we had some conversations in person, just talking about sports. And I thought that it would be a great connection for us to do that. So it's been cool. We've been over a year now.
Oh, that's what's up.
And this has been, we're almost 2 years, not too far from now.
Okay.
We're coming up on what's to play. So it's been cool. It's been great to meet people in a way. And I think going back to what we talked about, so I skip Bayless before we get out of here, the technology that we have now has allowed people with voices and ideas from all across the country together and have conversations that we weren't doing before because there was no outlet there. So that's why there's really no end to this. I get really excited about guests and what are we about to talk about and get into, and it's a joy.
No, it's fun. It's been fun, man. I appreciate you also letting me show some cards, talk about life cards, everything that I'm doing. And yeah, man, until next time.
Until next time. All right, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Talk to you. Philly in the house.
All right.